Good evening, folks. It's another fine evening out here in Colchester. I've had a fantastic day. I had my ward round today with my doctor, who arrived kind of halfway through, and another consultant psychiatrist who led the meeting. We discussed various things such as the side effects of my sodium valproate, which are like sort of big purple tablets that you have to take if you have an unstable mood, apparently, which I do. And we also discussed the fact that I don't have a care coordinator or a GP. I think that was the point at which the consultant arrived in the room, actually, and we never really got to the bottom of why I don't have a care coordinator. I do have a GP, but it hasn't been organised through my GP, or a GP which effectively vanished. So I got struck off the register with the Bath GP in the winter of 2022 because they told me that I'd been living outside the catchment area, and they sent me a text message and a letter to say that I'd been struck off the register. But then as soon as I got sectioned, it just appeared that the GP just appeared back on my records. They said you're with Bath GP, even though I'd lived in Bristol for ages. Anyway, that was quite boring. And then I went to go to a nice little kind of building they've got just down the road, where we had a celebration for Africa Day, which I found very insightful and interesting. Had a very interesting conversation with one of the members of staff about the German Chancellor travelling recently to some African countries to discuss various issues regarding Africa joining the G20, and how I felt that that might have some interesting cosplay between the dynamic of the European Central Bank and fiat central bank currency being maybe a quite sort of socially negative thing, but that's something that you can look at on a proper podcast or vlog, somebody who knows what they're talking about. I did ask my medical legal scrutiny documents, and the nurse who I spoke to about it this afternoon has assured me that they're going to deal with it tomorrow, which I wasn't that happy with, if I'm honest with you, but I did get 2 hours of escorted leave approved to me today, so I was really happy about that. I can go into town for 2 hours a day. So I went into town, I got my hair cut, so I look like the sexiest man on earth again. If it wasn't for all the disfigurements and the withering, harrowing effects of aging that have sort of ravaged my body. But yes, I went and bought some peanut butter and some bread and some sardines, and I bought some vapes to smoke in between the cigarette breaks, which we have 4 of a day here at Highwoods ward. We get to let out for cigarettes 4 times a day, 15 minutes, escorted by members of staff just to the front of the building. And other than that, I've got 2 hours of leave a week, even though I've not seen my paperwork or any of my section papers, which isn't really too great. But I shan't waffle on. I think that hopefully tomorrow they'll show me the properly scrutinised section papers and the medical legal scrutiny checklist to show that my GP details and my address details, which is of course of no fixed abode currently. If anyone knows of any properties in Bristol, please let me know. That's about it really. I don't really have anything else worthy of note. But I've had a nice day. I went into town with one of the members of staff in a minibus, had a little walk around, and I bought some tobacco products from the tobacconist, and I got my hair cut, and when I bought some groceries so I can have some breakfast. It doesn't consist of sugary cereal and horrible cheap white bread. And we had a lovely day with a garden party, lots of music and singing in the garden, and some speeches by the members of staff, and my consultant psychiatrist and all the other staff came along, and it was all very informal and lovely. So I've had a great day today. It's a nice evening. You can sort of see out the window there the sun's setting out in the garden. You can see my room. It's probably a bit of a mess. There's the bathroom there with a special flimsy bathroom door you can't hurt yourself on. So yeah, that's me, folks. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to show you a medical legal scrutiny checklist and I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll explain to you why it's so important and why it's so valuable, and why I've been making such a fuss about all these excuses and invalid reasons that they're giving me as to why it is they can't provide it to me. But I'm pretty sure they will provide it tomorrow. That seemed to be the noises they're making today, is that they're going to provide it tomorrow. So hopefully they shall do, and I'll be able to show it to you. But much love, all the best, and have a nice, fruitful evening, whatever you do. Good evening.